What is going on, YouTube? It's Jay Coffee back at it, and Alexander Mattison, running back for the Minnesota Vikings, is very serious about his I Am Gifted Foundation. You saw him there working with that family, helping people fight through mental health issues and just the pitfalls that life may throw at you. Saw that family going through it. Very terrible situation. A loved one took their own life, and the family witnessed it. It's heartbreaking stuff, man. And mental health over the past 5 to 10 years, mental health awareness and just people being more open about it has become a more accepted things. I'm not saying it wasn't ever accepted, but back in the day, people just, I don't know if it was pride or being embarrassed or what it was. People would keep things to themselves and not talk about it. It was uncomfortable, or it was seen as being weak. And we know if you keep things within you, it can build up inside, and just that's not the way to go. That's what Mattison is very serious about this. And you see he's bringing something to light here, what rather than, just dealing with it himself or just ignoring it. He wanted to share with the world that after the Vikings loss, they're 0-2. Who would have thunk it as well? The Vikings had quite the season last year. Start out 0-2. They just lost to the Eagles, defending NFC champions. Pretty crazy game, man. It was more or less the Swifty show, as the Eagles running back was all over the place. I think he rushed for like $175. He was just about unstoppable. Jalen Hurts, pretty modest game through the air, going 18 to 23 for 193 yards, a touchdown. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. But yeah, Vikings 0-2, man. And Mattison had a fumble during this game. It was a 6-point game. They lost, 34-28, I believe was the final score. And we know the fans can get rowdy, man. I'm a diehard Bills fan. I've shared with you guys, obviously week 1, that's not the outcome you want in a game. Josh Allen looked pretty bad, but there's a lot of football left. The NFL is crazy the way a season can go, the momentum and all that. So it's like, yo, fans, just be easy, just chill out, But what Mattison is sharing that happened is unacceptable, period. And that was fans DMing him, calling him racial slurs, as he had a fumble, a turnover by the Vikings in this close game, and he shared it via his story. I'm not going to share that screenshot with you. It's racial slurs. Y'all know what it is, but the Vikings have put out this statement in support of what Mattison says here. It says, "We are sickened by the hatred and racial slurs directed towards Alexander Mattison following last night's game. There simply is no room for racist words or actions in sports or society. The Vikings will continue to fight to eliminate hate, to educate, and to foster a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community that respects and values our unique backgrounds. We stand with Alexander and all players who unfortunately experience this type of ignorant and prejudicial behavior. And we ask our fans to continue to fight to eliminate racism." And there's fans debating about this. Like, some people are talking ish. If he held on to the ball like he held on to his phone, taking them screenshots, we wouldn't be in this situation. Someone else asked, was this on social media or in the stadium? As I just said, and we'll reiterate, it was on social media. I mean, this has happened to players before. We've heard of a lot of players when they're in the New England or Boston area. Players have been called hateful, racist, racial slurs and stuff like that. And, speaking of my Bills, this just kind of reminds me of a situation with the Bills. I want to say it was like 2009, 10, I think it was 9. It's somewhere in that time frame where it was like the AFL anniversary year. So all the teams playing each other that were AFL teams were rocking their throwbacks, and my Bills faced the Patriots. Bills were wearing their white on whites. Patriots were wearing the throwback red ones with the Patriot guy snapping the ball. I believe this was T.O.'s first game as a Buffalo Bill, and the Bills were leading late in the game, just outside of the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. And return man, who was also a cornerback, Leotis McKelvin, who later went on to play for the Eagles, who, are featured in this video. As we were talking about, they just beat the Vikings. But McKelvin, with a 6-point lead, or was it an 8-point or a 7? I can't recall. But we had the game. We just needed to get a first down and basically run out the clock. And instead of kneeling the ball for a touchback, he not only took it out of the end zone and returned it after contact, he fought for yards and ended up fumbling the ball. And, the Patriots got the ball. Brady, hits Watson for a touchback or a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And we go on to lose the game, and it was just heartbreaking, and McKelvin did make a bad decision there. But after the game, some fans in the South Towns, suburban Buffalo, where a lot of the players live — this was in Hamburg, New York — some of the residents find out where the players live. And there was always the couple fans. They turned out to be teenagers, 16-year-old kids, went and vandalized McKelvin's lawn. Now, there was always rumors that racial slurs were written, but that turned out to be not true, as in this situation he shared directly. He was called racial slurs. McKelvin, it was a rumor. It wasn't racial slurs, but they did write some obscenities, and they put "take a knee" and put the final score of the game. And it's like, again, wasn't racist. It was always rumored to be, but it was fluffed up, and it's an example of fans just going too far, man, just getting too wrapped up in this ish. All us fans, we want to see our teams win. We get emotional about this, but we forget that the players are emotional about this as well. Just because they make billions of dollars, doesn't mean that they don't care about the game, and then another fan says, "What happened?" Someone says, "Fumbled the rock last night. Vikings got upset. Viking fans got upset, said bad words." And he said, "Gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed so far after drafting him in the 3rd round. Not racial slur disappointed, but considering trade options." So it's like a ludicrous comment by that guy. He's kind of almost joking about this. And it just shows you, the toxic ish that goes on in social media. This we know, but Mattison, being a mental health advocate to speak about this stuff and, put things out there, is sharing that this affects him, and he says, this is a statement from Wasserman, which I believe is his agent. I'm not exactly sure. It says, "Wasserman echoes and firmly stands behind Alexander Mattison's comments in response to the disgusting racist remarks made against him after Thursday night's NFL game. Alex encourages mental health practices because he has personally experienced how hard life can be. No player, regardless of race, should be subjected to this kind of treatment. Through his foundation, I Am Gifted, no matter what adversity kids may face, they can look in the mirror and say, I am gifted, and truly believe it. These hateful remarks are completely unacceptable, and we plan to work with the entire NFL community on solutions to address this. Alexander is a great leader in his community, and we hope fans can be inspired by his actions and what his foundation stands for." And then Mattison actually put out some messages directly from himself via his story. He says, "By no means do I care for the attention or pity that comes with being in this position. I simply would like to acknowledge what happens in the dark and behind the scenes, for there are many people who are blind to the realness and severity of its regular occurrence towards people like me. Over the years, I've been finding my voice, speaking up and standing for those who may be sitting in silence and experiencing anything similar." So you heard Mattison. He said, "I'm not doing this for pity or for attention. I'm trying to bring this to the light. This kind of ish goes on behind the scenes all the time. Some people underestimate or try to downplay, this racist ish going on via social media and the toxic ish. No, I want to talk about it," basically is more or less what it seems Mattison saying. Again, mental health advocate, speaking out, not keeping things inside, seems to be a very strong line that Mattison's pushing. He went on to say, "We are people under the helmet, men, sons, husbands, and brothers. We should not be dehumanized, nor should our identities or ethnicities be attacked for our play on the field. No athlete deserves to be harassed, disrespected, and threatened." So again, guys, as I just stated, us fans, like I was just talking about with my Bills, right? And other fans, all fans can relate to this. We had a wild season last year. It ended with heartbreak, and the players were out there. Just what happened with Damar Hamlin and just the emotional roller coaster of the season. You could see the Bills were just spent at the end of the year. It all took a toll on them. And again, like all the fans being so negative this year after one loss, like I get it, us fans, we want to talk our ish, talk about the game, sound off and all that. And again, if you're new over here, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. But better yet, jump in the comments, as that's what we do over here. We talk it up, music, news, sports, and more. But like, listen, fans, yes, like, we support these players. They make millions of dollars. We want to talk our talk about the game and everything like that. Right. But, racist trolling and things like that is crossing a line, with social media. People are just becoming so accustomed to just saying hateful ish like it's nothing, and like he said, we're players underneath these helmets. That's another thing I say to these fans, right? Like Mattison's like, we're players. We should not be dehumanized. Like I said, last year, the Bills' long season and the emotional roller coaster, it's like us fans get all turned up and can get upset as we love our team. But it's like a lot of individuals forget, just like you got to think about it, how much we love our team and love to support our team. These guys go out there, work hard, and bleed for this game. Think about how emotional we can be, how intensified that is for the players. They are people. Yes, it's entertainment, but that's people under them helmets. You know what I mean? He goes on to say, as someone who believes in the importance of mental health, I will continue to advocate for the emotional safety of myself and athletes at every level. Through my I Am Gifted Foundation, I will continue to spread love and positivity and shine as much light as I can in this world. And then he also said, we know our fans are heavily invested and hugely supported of our efforts on the field, but we are not players in a video game. We are more than just Sunday entertainment. So again, like, we love the game. It is entertainment. And yes, the players make a lot of money, okay? But they're still people. You know what I mean? Like, what do y'all think? Comment. He went on to say, social media has given us great access and proximity to the fans, but it has also opened up a window for bullying and harassment, which cannot be tolerated. So as far as this blogosphere era, guys, this social media era, the world is changing every day. We're in an era we never have been before. It all continues to evolve with social media. So it's like society is adjusting to this. This is different. Things have never been like this. This blogosphere era is truly different. And, the world continues to change every day. History is being made. And a lot of cats, that get to trolling and crossing a line and going just wild with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's changing the way society is socially. It's a different world, y'all. He says, racism at its core is centered in fear and ignorance, and the only way we can work against it is to address it head on. 56% of the NFL is comprised of black men, so I know I am not the only one who has had this negative experience. We deserve better from the fans. The NFL is meant to represent family, so we have to hold each other accountable for our actions and be better to one another. So there you have it, man. Mattison continues to push the line that he does with his foundation and, mental health, getting through, helping families and people get through the pitfalls of life again, as we saw in the beginning of the video. He was called racial slurs via the DM and said, I'm going to speak out about this. I'm just not going to ignore this. I want the world in the blogosphere to know what's going on, man. So jump in the comments. Let's talk about it all. Once again, that's what we do over here, is talk with y'all, the people. I'm up in them comments. Subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.